There's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, Algarve, Munson here from expatsportugal.com with a Good Morning Portugal live stream show and the podcast. Don't forget the podcast. Hello, all you podcast listeners. You don't get enough love. So there's a little bit of extra love for you this morning on the podcast. How's everyone doing this morning? Yes, it's Consumer Tuesday and a chance. It's a fairly quiet show. Of course, I say that now. It may turn out completely differently, as we know, and this 90-minute amble through all that is great and good about being in Portugal, of course, moving to Portugal and being in Portugal, which includes you, the Gumper community, the great and good of life here in Portugal, or those aspiring to be so. So do tell us how you're doing in the shops, in the banks, in the government offices, you know, the consumer experience here in Portugal, very helpful to others making the journey, the pilgrimage over here, the Portuguese pilgrimage, and coming over so they can know what to expect and we can ease their passage, so to speak. Right, okay. T-Duck, good to see you're back. I see you're busy again, but just before you go, here's something for you.
Show.
That's little Minnie and the duck that she adopted. We found an orphan duckling, which looked very different to that massive creature there. I'm a bit of a skip diver. I found that lovely little paddling pool out on my travels while skip diving. I must write a book on the subject. And the duck loves the pond, the little pool, the inflatable pool, and has turned into quite a beast, and gave him the camera a little peck there, as you can see at the end. So especially for you there, T-Duck, grown into a beautiful creature. And that is, I think, 7 weeks old. Quite extraordinary to see something go from a fluffy little vulnerable duckling that all the other ducks were trying to kill, basically. He was lying upside down in the water when we rescued him. Him or her, we don't know yet. I don't think it's easy to tell until they get to about 8 or 10 weeks old, and then we'll know whether we need to have a hen duck. Is that what they're called? I don't know. A female here, mallard, and to be with our quails and chickens, or if it's a male, may have to go and live somewhere else where it can be very male and yangy around the place in a wilder environment, I suspect. But we shall see. Especially for you there, T-Duck. Thanks for all you do. And Nunu's in, Coach Turner. We have Cindy B, Tony Baldylocks, Elaine Godley. Hello, Elaine. Where you been? And Connie Stalika this morning. Johnny Cocktail, the fantastically named Johnny Cocktail, is tuned in. Well, has been tuned in. I'm not sure if Johnny Cocktail can catch the show live, but has sent a dad joke, which I'll do. I'll stick it in the, if those of you who are watching now, you can enjoy that in the chat right now. Francis is in as well. Baddy, see you tomorrow. Oh, will we see you tomorrow? Is it maybe the last meetup you'll be joining us for a while then, Baddy, tomorrow? Yeah, it's Wednesday tomorrow, folks, on the Silver Coast, the meetup. Hope to see you there. We'll be back at Palmera. Chris, Capricorn Chris is just in as well. I see. Morning to you, Chris. What's your faz do dia today? And Cooey from the Algarve. Lovely to see Elaine Godley here, who was a guest on the show a long, long time ago when we first started. And I think you have been back since then, haven't you, Elaine? I think it's time for you to return because you've always got some exciting plans on the go. And you're a remarkable woman, if I may say so, with an incredible story. I'd like to reacquaint myself with you and your plans, if that's all right, sometime soon. Okay, yes, Baddy will be at the meetup tomorrow. So if you want to see Baddy before she snowbirds it back to Iceland. Come and see her tomorrow, as well as the rest of us. Usually 20 to 30 people at the meetup. It's an institution, isn't it? An institution here on the Silver Coast. Very friendly, very easygoing, quite informal. Come and have some fun with us. Mark, bon dia alegria. Now, Mark, are you here? Are you now tuned into the show with your feet under the Portuguese table, as it were? I hope you are. I hope you're having a great time. If there's anything we can do for you, do let us know. I have so many wonderful images to share with you. Yesterday was a photo fest, wasn't it? Today will be much the same. Quick weather report from Belfast as well this morning, as well as many other things that have been sent in to me. Things is not the right way to say it. Images of great beauty from the Azores, from Belfast, from the States. Unfortunately, some rather alarming photographs of billowing smoke clouds. Let's not let our guard down when it comes to being vigilant about the fire safety, wildfire situation, folks. Stay alert, stay prepared, and then stay safe. As a result, there, I've got a few more. I send pictures to myself on WhatsApp so I can get my ducks in a row, as it were, to share these images with you. And of course, yesterday, I had an amazing realization. I think it was being in the atmosphere of, James and the thoughts from the redwoods and that sort of thing. I realized that I'd become quite, and this is a nice rhyming sort of triplet, a bit sarky, narky, and sarky, narky, and snarky, narky, and sarky. With how things had been, and a little bit negative. It got gone to the dark side, perhaps. Oh, he leaves on Friday. Okay, Mark, we are ready for you over here. We're just making sure the marching band and the dancing girls and the champagne is chilled and ready for your arrival. Bon voyage, my friend. Pam's in also this morning. Bon dia. Yeah, feliz dia dos avós. Oh, okay. Is it grandparent day today? Very interesting. Thank you for that, Pam. Can you tell us more? Can you give me a reference so that I can maybe read something out about that? That'd be fantastic. Sorry to make you work as soon as you arrive, but you did mention it, the Dia dos Avós. And it's great because my in-laws are here, so the grandkids and grandparents can hang out together and honor that day. In fact, we did yesterday, and I can show you a picture of that. Bon dia todos from Jim as well, from Porto. Come back to all your comments in just a while. I tried a fantastic wine yesterday that I want to tell you about as well. Very, very nice. I have admitted, haven't I, to you before, that I'm not that fond of red wine. Nothing to do with Portugal, particularly, or Portuguese red wine. Just not a big fan. After a year off it, I've come back to it and thought, well, it's okay. I suppose it does the trick. It eases. It can ease a troubled mind. That's for sure. But in terms of taste, really, I've not found something that I would call delicious. It's the white wines that I find delicious. And I had something called, what was it? Sol Real, with a tiny little label on the bottle. Let me show you that now. It's a good topic for Consumer Tuesday, isn't it? Lovely chicken dinner last night. A chicken, a free-range frango de campo from the supermarket. Comes with the head and the blood. That's how we do it here in Portugal. So the dogs get a treat. And we get the whole chicken and nothing gets wasted. We honor the bird as much as is possible. That's having had it killed in the first place, of course, which is a dubious honor. But anyway, we eat chicken and we prefer to eat the campo, the free range chicken here in Portugal. Comes with the head and the feet. And with it last night, tried this beauty. Look at it in the glass here. Look at those bubbles and that cold glass. A few bubbles. It's a green wine. And it goes by the name of Sol Real, a Vinho de Mesa. How about that? A table wine at 10%. So it's not the strongest of wines. Maybe that's about right for a white, is it? I know reds are about 13.5, aren't they? But it was delicious. And sometimes the green ones, the Vinho Verdes, can be a little bit acidic, can't they? Not with this one. Really enjoyed this one. We'll be looking for it again. And it came from our neighbor and our taxi driving neighbor, Vitor, who also gave us his wife's tomato jam. I have never had tomato jam until I came here to Portugal. It's delicious. And I couldn't quite get my head around it. I was thinking, do I want that on my toast? I like something a bit sweet when it comes to jam. And it is sweet. I was thinking it might have a sort of sour, tomatoey tang to it. Not at all. Delicious. Thank you, Vitor. I don't remember Vitor's wife's name, but Mrs. Vitor will go with for the time being. Thank you for your hospitality and how lovely it is to get to know you as neighbours and be swapping a few bits of produce like that. That's again how we roll here in Portugal. Hot in. Let's do a little bit of weather, shall we? Hot in the United States, it would appear. It's quite an interesting image, isn't it? Thank you very much to my namesake. Oh yeah, talking of namesakes. This one from namesake, this is Norwegian Carl, who spends time in Caldash, or Caldash, we could call it, couldn't we? And saying it's a little bit hot in the US at the moment where he currently finds himself. What to do? A disrobe like that. Maybe not, don't try that in the Praça de Frutas. Well, let's try it and see. It's a fruity behavior for sure. Thank you for that, Carl. And last night, I spoke to Carl Munson. I had the Monday night. I'm actually losing interest in the Monday night podcast as a political. I can't keep it up. I need some sort of. I actually don't. I was going to say I needed some sort of political Viagra to remain interested in all the political shenanigans. Actually, I'm not very interested, and last night proved it. I made a space for us to talk in depth about political issues and things that get a little bit narky and snarky here on the show sometimes. I think I'm going to move on. Last night was great. I talked to a Carl Munson. Look at this. Munson Guitars, would you believe? And this Carl Munson got in touch with me. He said, hi, I'm Carl Munson as well. Turns out he makes beautiful custom guitars. You can have a guitar made by a Carl Munson over there in the UK in Norfolk. And there he is in the studio. He's got a dog as well. We found out we had quite a lot in common, funnily enough. Love of music. We live by the sea. And our parents chose the name Carl for this very similar reasons. It was fascinating talking to him. Lord Gilchrist jumped on and was talking because you know how Lord Gilchrist loves a workshop. Look at that beautiful workshop that this Carl Munson has here. And he makes guitars. And I want to get a T-shirt, a Munson guitar T-shirt, with that logo on it. Our writing's quite similar as well. His has got a bit more of a flourish to it, I would say there, though. But how fantastic to talk to a Carl Munson last night. If you would like to talk to your namesake, I'd be happy to do that on the Monday night. If there's a Victoria Benson who wants to talk to another Victoria Benson, if Stephen Wells, bon dia to you, if Stephen Wells wants to meet his old mate from school, as he told us last night, Steve Wells, we could do that. Capricorn Chris, there can't be many Capricorn Chris's around, can there? But who knows? I didn't know there were many Carl Munsons around until last night, and actually spoke to one. Raj is in as well this morning. Bon dia todos. And Coach Turner, just listened to Idris Muhammad. Love it. Okay, so there's a Fajr do Dia. Could heaven ever be like this? Must listen to that after the show. Could be a bit difficult now, but thank you for that, Capricorn Chris and Victoria. Let me show your pictures while you're here, Victoria. Had a lovely champagne last night after a prawn Thai curry. Oh, stop it, Victoria. And a stroll by the river with a strawberry ice cream. Living the dream. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Having become a bit narky, snarky, and sarky recently with all the political argy-bargy, I didn't realize how much it had got to me. And what this is about, is living a beautiful life here in Portugal. That's what it was always about. And I'm so sorry that I might have drifted a little bit off mission with that. So not too far. And there's Victoria reminding me that that's what it's all about. And she has some lovely photos to share with us as well. Where's this Victoria? Let me just have a little scroll down. Loads, bulging sack this morning of incoming mail. And who doesn't, etc., etc. It's becoming, I suppose, a bit of a catchphrase, isn't it? Johnny Cocktail sent his dad joke and said, he wants a rim shot, and said, who doesn't like, okay, Victoria, muito obrigado. Well, igualmente nada. I mean, I was thanking Victoria for the picture she sent in the day before, and she has been to the lakes at São Bartolomeu de Mezins, down there in the Algarve. It's beautiful. I will show a brief video, very brief video, and a few images of where she's been. This is some low-hanging fruit, or some blossoms anyway. And who doesn't like low-hanging blossoms first thing in the morning? Look at that. Look at the color of that water. Absolutely beautiful. And a little bit of more of a view there as the I'm guessing it's a river. It could be one of Portugal's barragem reservoirs, couldn't it, as well? It is looking more like a reservoir there. And the ruins, she says, at Funchal de Diante. So I'm thinking perhaps it is a reservoir, and those ruins are, when they move people away, don't they? They flood a valley and move people away. That may be what happened at the ruins there of the Funcho de Diant. Thank you so much, and a little bit of a vid to go with it as well. We'll have a sip on my tea that I didn't get round to this morning. Where's that video? I haven't even loaded it yet. Hold on a minute. Bear with. We've got a video. It's not going to take a lot longer. Here it comes. It's come. Checking the gate. First positions, please, and action. You see, no Guinness or fish and chips there. We're aware of this, aren't we? It's this toing and froing of this. The first reaction to the word the Algarve. That is the Algarve, folks. Let me play that. The Algarve. Let me present to you there the Algarve, courtesy of Victoria Benson. Vicky, thank you so much for that. No, not a single English person to be heard in the distance. Whoa, none of that. And no German beach towels to be seen. That is the Algarve, folks. Wildlife in the Algarve. How superb is that? And I love the sound of the cicadas, that buzz of the insects is absolutely fantastic, isn't it? Okay, so back to the weather and your chat, if you will. Let's bring on, we've done Carl Munson's guitars, haven't we? Might have a look at the papers this morning. We also have Moulen and mortgages. If you've got any questions about mortgages, I always fear a little bit, between you and me before she gets it, I always fear a little bit talking with Jacqueline, not because she's difficult to talk to, because she's so darn efficient. I mean, all the mortgage questions are done and dusted with ruthless efficiency. She's so good at what she does. Moulen and mortgages, it can all be done in about 2 minutes. She gives us an update on the mortgage scene. She'll tell you what the upper age limit is. She'll tell you to send in your details, and she'll consider your mortgage. And they turn that around very quickly. So we'll talk to her about some. We'll talk to her about some lifestyle things. What should we talk to Jacqueline Moulen about from Mortgage Direct this morning? You let me know. What questions have you got about mortgages, more generally, as well as specifically about getting a mortgage here in Portugal? So let's do that as well. But first, before we get there, and it's not long now until she arrives, about 12 minutes or so. We'll come back as well to any unfinished business thereafter. But let's have a look at the weather, because there are some concerns, obviously, about the fire situation. I think it's going to be another hot one today. Out and about with the dogs this morning. There was some dew on the ground. I think it had been raining overnight, the ground was soggy, moist. But I think it's going to be a hot one today. Here's your weather then, the Expats Portugal.com weather. Lisboa 70 today. Look at that, 70 degrees, rising to a high of 81. See, I knew it. My father-in-law would say, how do you know it's going to be hot today? I could just tell with not only my senses and the immediate feedback, but my sense of the weather as well. My inner seaweed was twitching, I have to say. Which is not a pleasant image, is it? This time in the morning. 27 degrees and 81. The high then in Lisbon today. And let's have a look at sunshine all the way. We're well and truly into the 300 days of sunshine, aren't we? Here in Portugal, rising to 86 and 91 on Sunday, and going into next week, very hot. Be careful out there for all sorts of reasons, with what the hot weather brings to us, and can catch us off guard, especially when we've been warned about it by people like me for days on end, and it doesn't happen, and then suddenly it's there. Anyway, Porto, let's have a look. 22 of the high today, so fairly mild. Catch the Alpha Pendula up to Porto for a fairly cool day. 20 degrees at the moment of the centigrade. What's that? 70 right now. So it's going to be nice and warm and sunny, but not too unbearable, I would say. Coimbra, though, 30. My goodness. That's going to be a hot one then, isn't it? 30 degrees in the city. I'm imagining this weather. I mean, this is a Coimbra district. Imagine the great heat. They are fighting quite a big blaze over that way, near to Penacova, I believe. That there is a blaze that was being dealt with by a lot of people yesterday. And I've also got an Albufeira picture with smoke in the sky. So do be careful, folks. But Coimbra district, average high then. Let's go with that. It's 22 at the moment, will rise to 30 in the Algarve. 31 the high today, and a sunny looking week as well. That's the high over the next week or so. 31 in Faro. Aveiro, 23 the high today, currently 18. Beja will get to 35, they say. And look at that, Sunday and Monday. 41 on Sunday and Monday of this week in the Alentejo in Beja there. Braga up to 29 today from 22 currently with a clear sky. Castelo Branco 21 currently, rising to 34, and you're going to get 41 there. 40 on Saturday, 41 on Sunday. Be careful, Pete, Joseph, and others there in the Castelo Branco district. Evora 41 as well on Sunday, currently 22 with a clear sky. Look, it's a lot of sunshine, rising to 34 today. Leria 26, cool. That's us here in on the Silver Coast. We are included in Leria in this part of the country. 26 the high, currently 19, a little bit cloudy. Santarém, hot Santarém, but you're going to have to wait till Monday for your 40. So it's a nice time to prepare. Get your mister in and your fan ready. 41 on Monday, 31 the high today, currently at 20 in Santarém, and Viseu 22 currently with a clear sky, 31 the high today, and some high temperatures coming towards the end of the week. Bragança 31, currently 18, 31 the high. Guarda 29 the high, currently 16. Porto Alegre 34 the high today with a current temperature of 21 and a lovely clear sky. Setúbal 22 degrees. And I love it. Are you sitting there waiting? Where's my district? If you're in Setúbal, 30 degrees today is the high. Predicted high, 22 at the moment with a clear sky. Clear sky 2 in Viana do Castelo at 23. Predicted high. And Villarreal, 20 at the moment, clear sky. And 31, the predicted high today. Well, the high temperatures of Villarreal up there in the north, excuse me a moment. There's been a tickly thing hanging about. I think I've nailed it. 38 on Sunday. High temperatures then coming this weekend, right, around the country. 38 on Sunday in Villarreal, 39 on Monday going into the new week. Now, I'm glad we're talking about the Azores now. 24 at the moment with 20 with a few clouds, and 21 currently. Sorry, 24 it's going to rise to with some rain today in the Azores and Madeira. 23 the high, currently 18 with a few clouds. Now, that's your weather there. Here on Good Morning Portugal from expatsportugal.com, and I've got more lovely pictures to show, and I'm reminded about that by the mention of the weather in the Azores there, and from our international man of mystery, from a great friend. He has been he's been traveling all over Europe, I think. Got a lovely message yesterday to say the boat is ready for the next leg of the tour. Look at this. He's going to be, I think he's going to be on this boat. He's going sailing on this boat out of the Azores. Longest shot of his view currently. Isn't that beautiful? I really want to go to the Azores one of these days. The Azores or the Azores or the Azores, however you say it. And there's another shot of the marina there. And he's currently in Angra do Heroísmo, I think is the name of this place. It's so beautiful, isn't it? It's not hot there at the moment, as you could hear from the weather report. But that is the friend, the traveler exploring Portugal. Here is another pic. I am in Angra do Heroísmo now, and it is beautiful, a beautiful spot on the planet. Much love, right back at you, Igualmente there. Thank you for the pickies. That is beautiful. That building is fantastic. And I think you're getting a sense of the Portuguese soul, the Portuguese flavors, but a unique location for sure. Must get to the Azores and Madeira at some point. Thank you for that. Here's that Albufeira skyline, smoky clouds. And whoever it was, Laura sent this in. Laura was saying, this is a sky tonight in Albufeira, smell of fire, unfortunately. So, yeah. Sadly, this is what we're contending with in parts of the country. Please stay safe, folks. Okay, let's go back to your comments and see what's going on. I know there's a dad joke hanging about in there as well. Let's scroll through in anticipation of Moulen on mortgages coming in, and we'll come back to your comments. We'll have a look at the papers afterwards as well. But we have a God Squad tip of the day. Oh, and we have that Belfast weather report. Enough blue in the sky to patch a hole in a sailor's coat. It's going to be a nice day. Get up, get out, and enjoy today. All about the motivation here. It's fantastic. I love our atmosphere here. And where's your patching, your sailor's coat patching photo? Oh, here you are with your sunflowers. Deagle, this is lovely. Look, Deagle's back garden there and his lovely sunflower collection. And it's a sunflower connection as well. Thank you, Deagle, for that. very much indeed. And bon dia, Colin Gumpers, he says, no swimming today. Only did 106 lengths yesterday. What's wrong with you, man? Had planned 128, but still happy as it was after my third night shift on the bounce. Only 106 lengths. Unbelievable. In a good way. You're amazing, Deagle. God Squad tip of the day then. Oh, and let me have another sip of my tea. Sorry, I mean, let me play the jingle for you. Now, if you weren't in on that early joke, probably a few months ago now, and what's going on here? Why is it Chariots of Fire? Why is it Darth Vader? It's because Coach Turner broke his weighing scales and had to go out and buy some new ones, which look like the flattened face of Darth Vader. I hope you're getting up to speed now. So gentle fitness, top tips for bon viveurs, continuing the theme of exercising with friends. The one where they went out and exercised. I often walk with Mrs. T. Can you find an activity that you can share with your significant other half? Behave, Carl. What do you mean? A little bit of that in the morning. Yes, okay. So suggestions, please. Then tiddlywinks, whatever. Something that you might do with your significant other half or bestie. Isn't that a great idea? I'm loving this. I'm loving this, Coach Turner. Keep them coming. Bon dia alegria. Gumpers from T-Duck as well, who's going to miss a lot of the show today or the first part, and we'll be back. If you want to talk about T-Duck, do it now. Missing the first part of the show today. Very busy week for us. Hoping to see you tomorrow at the meetup. We'll do a little bit of live streaming maybe tomorrow from the meetup. But it might be Mrs. Duck's part 2. She was fantastic in the first half of her views and opinions and reflections on being in Portugal for just over a year. Overcast here in Hertfordshire, but pleasant enough. Great for training and walks out for coffee. Sounds lovely in Hertfordshire, one of the home counties, I believe, of Her Majesty's United Kingdom there. And the banana slug is in. It's taken a long time to get round to the banana slug this morning, and your comments, actually, isn't it? Bon dia, Gumpers. Feliz terça a todos. Como vai? Como va? Muito bem, obrigado. And a Will Rogers quote of the day: the income tax has made more liars out of the American people than golf has. Well, hey, very good. Same all over the world, I suspect. Hello, everyone. One more day fulfilled with opportunities. Take it or leave it. It's up to each of us. More motivation. We got some lead in our pencils this morning, haven't we? Some wind in our sails. It must be the feijoada from yesterday. But yes, very good. Cindy B's in as well. Sorry, Cindy B, to go from Portuguese wind to you. No connection, no obvious connection being made there. You were just next in the queue. Bon dia, alegria, Gumpers. Cindy B. Lots of love to you and JC this morning. Bon dia, Gumpers from Tony as well. And Elaine, who we mentioned before. I think Elaine's got a few more things to say. We're continuing Tony's countdown. 14, 13, 12, T-minus 10 very soon. And Francis is in again. Bon dia, alegria, todos. How you doing, Francis? How's South Africa this morning? Bon dia, everyone, from Mrs. Stalika. Thought for the day: keep smiling. It makes others wonder what you're up to. Yes, I got to tell you, Connie, I have been smirking for over 50 years now, and it does unnerve people. I don't mean to do it. I don't do it with any ill intent, like you rascal, making people wonder what you're up to. But people have been trying to wipe this smile off my face for a long time now. And it's almost set. The wind changed one day when I was young, and this is permanent, well, passive smirking almost. Bon dia, alegria, looking forward to the day. Fantastic, buddy. And Expats Portugal. What's this? Oh, it's me with the dad joke. Then no, you can't say a dad joke without issuing the necessary warning. I think that's Portuguese law, isn't it?
Warning. Warning.
Oh, a quick dad joke then before Jacqueline arrives. She's got a lovely picture. Or is it a green screen? Okay, talking to Jacqueline in just a moment. Anything you want to know about mortgages? Do let us know, and we'll answer those mortgage. Well, I won't. She will answer the mortgage questions in just a moment. Okay. He's looking for a rim shot for this, and you can decide whether he gets one or not. I offer this dad joke. Says Johnny Cocktail, the brilliantly named Johnny Cocktail, one of the Gumpers. My bicycle always falls over after I get off it after a long ride. It's too tired. Okay. You get one of those. You do get a rim shot, because who doesn't? I love a rim shot first thing in the morning. Johnny Cocktail, you rascal. Hola, bon dia todos. That's Chris's official welcome and greeting this morning. And yeah, Mark, leaving the UK on Friday. Looking forward to meeting up with you again. Maybe you can pop across to our Silver Coast meeting. Maybe you can initiate a Central Portugal one, Mark, when you get here. I mean, no hurry. Maybe in the next couple of weeks will be great. Bon dia todos from Jim. And we're going to find out more, aren't we, about this Dia de Avos today. Dos Avos. Oh, the Faixa do Dia from Chris is Could Heaven Ever Be Like This? Great track. Talking of a beautiful life in Portugal, and yes, I'm going to return to those roots. The show blog. If you want to go, if you want anything you've missed, links, laughs, and pickies. That's basically what it is. Luciphilia, love of Portugal through the images that I've shared. I stick them over on the show blog, which you can find at goodmorningportugal.com after the show. And yeah, really good to be reminded that could heaven ever be like this? Well, I suspect in so many parts of Portugal, a heavenly existence is being enjoyed, and that's the return to form here. Everybody, I don't know what happened to me over these last few months. Stephen Wells, bon dia, Steve and Stephen, your namesake too. We'll send him a greeting. Pass that on to him if you will, Stephen. Hola, bon dia from Owen as well, and we heard about Victoria drinking champagne. Raj is in. Just a few more hellos before we chat to Jacqueline. Raj, bon dia todos, and Jess, bon dia everyone. How you doing, Jess? Late for you. Sarah is here, bon dia todos. Can we get this sorted out once and for all? Sarah, every time I say your name, I'm saying Sarah. I'm thinking without the H, it could be Sarah. I hope if you tell me one more time in the chat, I'll get it right from forevermore. Have I been mispronouncing your name, or can I stay with Sarah, please? Hola, Owen, and bon dia to Victoria from Connie there. And a good morning, people from Lee. Lee was fantastic last night on the gardening Q&A. And yes, talking of interviewing my namesake last night, as I was, Elaine Godley says she was advised to Google herself from time to time. I recently found another Elaine Godley who had been arrested in America. Yeah, well, Pete was saying that last night. His namesake is a drug dealer in jail in India, apparently. So he had to, I think he felt obliged to do a few more things on the internet to get himself posted on the first few pages and obliterate his namesake, who he's not too happy to be associated with. So, Bartolomeo de Message in the Algarve. Yes, of course. Thank you, Victoria. Thank you for those pickies. It was a delight to share them. Let's go to Jacqueline now. Let's find out which part of the world she's in and see if she's ever Googled herself this morning. Good morning to you, Moulen on Mortgages. How are you?
Good morning, Mr. Munson. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Yes, I was just saying earlier on, we have lead in our pencils, wind in our sails. People are feeling very up and excitable this morning. You'll discover as we engage with the community and yourself.
I'm well. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, great news. And where are you in the world? You're always somewhere
Netherlands.
exciting. In the Netherlands. Okay. And which particular part, if I may ask?
The south, so close to Maastricht.
Close to Maastricht. And have you got a lot of farmers there driving around on tractors and spraying government buildings with manure at the moment?
We do have the farmers, but they went up more north where they could block more certain, central points like the main, how do you call it, the airport and other important ports that, going to block really the expat or the export and import markets.
Get their message across, and is that a widespread thing happening in the Netherlands? Or is the message getting out? I suppose. I mean, they've got a message to deliver, and they're clearly quite angry and assertive about it. Is the word getting across? How do the Dutch people feel about this?
It's a very sensitive subject, and I think it's one of the subjects that's really reaching also the political ranks. As in, we have traditional parties that represent more the farmers, if you will.
Yes.
And they're getting to the level upset that they don't like what the central politicians are doing, and then that doesn't reflect well to what local people need. And you see that dialogue is really causing some friction between local politicians and national politicians, which maybe is not uncommon, but it's one of the bigger. It's really creating some wedges where people are not feeling comfortable at all to be part of parties what they kind of swore their life to. That was a thing for life, and now they're leaving that kind of party, which is it's quite unsettling. Yeah,
it's a similar picture around the world, isn't it? It's very interesting what's going on. So people who've got something quite serious to say, it tends to get mixed up in sometimes what are called, I suppose, extreme messages or messaging, and it becomes quite polarized. I suppose that's the key word here, isn't it?
Well,
Right.
someone also got shot. Like one of the farmers was shot during
How awful.
a protest. Yeah, so that was quite a young person. So it didn't go down well with the Dutch public. No.
Of course. My goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I hope for peace, because I suppose all they're asking for is to be heard, and then we see a process, don't we, around the world? It's not just in the Netherlands, this is it, where where people, a community has a firm opinion, and they want to be heard about it, and then it goes a very sort of toxic and polar route. I hope we can find other solutions. Well, I'm sorry it's we're starting in this way, but that is what's going on over in your part of the world right now. I hope for peaceful resolution of the situation. Let's extend that then, shall we, to the financial world and the world of finance. What's happening in that world at the moment, Jacqueline?
I would say, depending if you look at the whole world or you look at what's happening in Portugal, I think we're a bit more calm waters in Portugal. So that's the good news. Around the globe, we see interest rates of the banks are increasing, more volatility. So you see, like the US, for example, they're close to 6% or even above that for long-term mortgages. If we look at the Portugal reality, they have increased, but not as dramatically as they have in the US. So we're looking somewhere between 2 and 3%, which is still very good rates considering how long you can fix them for and how long you can have the mortgage for, which is a very different scenario is what we're seeing in some other parts of the world, like the United States or my own country too, for example. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And my guest last Tuesday were saying something quite similar. We had Paul from Fiduciary Wealth Management talking about wealth and tax planning. We had Savika Anna talking from the world of real estate. And whilst there is volatility clearly in the world, Portugal is managing to present itself as a safe and calm place in that bigger picture, right?
Yeah, and I think we touched upon the safety of Portugal, and that it's a big draw for many people to remotely live in Portugal or live there permanently, as they feel that kind of safety is something that also gives a lot of life quality. And then additionally, knowing that your finances are kind of taken care of too. I think that's two very important pillars of life where people want security. So yeah,
indeed. No, I've been talking about the beauty of life here. This is what we're all about. Portugal, and good morning, Portugal. It's about living a lovely, beautiful life here, and that's what Portugal offers. And then if you add to that some relative safety in this crazy world at the moment, with quite a few things escalating, two of which we've already mentioned this morning. It's a good place to be. It remains a good place to be in somewhat challenging times. So what's happening specifically then in the world of mortgages? Which parts of the country are you feeling interest from others around the world? Where are the mortgage applications based, as it were?
I would say that traditionally the areas that most people are interested in buying is always around Lisbon. The Algarve is very popular, but a few people are always looking at Porto as well, or maybe a bit more interior into the country. But that is, again, another lifestyle. I think majority of people are still interested in Lisbon, the Algarve. They like to have the nice weather, the beach close. Also, cosmopolitan people might choose Lisbon over a more laid-back style, which you find in the Algarve.
Yes, indeed. I was having a conversation with somebody last night. They have the opportunity to live in Porto, in right in the buzz of things, or on the Silver Coast in quite a quiet place, and both seem wonderful opportunities. I don't know what other people might say about that. Are you more of a sort of cosmopolitan bohemian type, or do you like the seaside, or a bit of both?
I like both, and that's why I keep flocking around. I can't decide.
It sounds like Lisbon for you then, possibly.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right. Well, in anticipation of some questions that may or may not come in, I was saying when I speak to you, you have a almost a ruthless efficiency when it comes to getting people mortgages. You're very good at this. You're very good at your job, and there are some ways that people can help with that. And we've got some perennial questions that come up, of course. I think you did mention. Did you mention specifically the mortgage, the interest rates at the moment? Pretty, roughly speaking, Portugal?
Somewhere between 2 and 3%. That's
2 or 3,
really
yeah.
a rough guide. It's not. I can't guarantee that. It's always changing very much. It's changing more than we've ever seen. So in the last 7 years, we've had negative interest rates. I mean, the
Yes.
Euribor, which was
Yes.
the rate that was very is a leading rate to establish interest rate, and that's kind of it's almost saying like there is no risk, which is there is no such a world with no risk. So it's kind of peculiar that we had a negative interest rate for so long.
Yes.
So people are responding to that. Oh, the interest rates are increasing, but we're kind of now seeing what would be normal interest rates in a world where there's not a negative interest rate, which we had before for the last 7 years. So the fact that Euribor has gone up, all the ECB measures are affecting the rate. Swap rates are going up, but still, these are not crazy rates. I mean, when I was born, so this is a while back, but interest rates were 15%. So, that kind of world we had there too. And this was in the 80s. So that was a different ball game altogether.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, at the time, you probably could get money on deposit or interest if you had money on deposit, right? Which is,
yeah.
I was going to say unheard of now, but actually, I think some people in America are actually getting interest on their savings again, which hasn't happened for a little while. I think that will be a little while before that happens in Portugal. Okay, so we've got 2 to 3, roughly speaking. The devil will be in the detail. The way to get in touch with you is through the link on the screen there. You may give us a more direct email address as well. But what you like people to do is to get in touch with you, and then you'll call them back and take them through the process, right? And just get focused in the process.
So I like to establish it's not a one-woman show. It might seem that way on this show, but we have like a team of people behind. I'm not the only one here. I'm just representing once a month the company. But yeah, we have a bunch more people there. They can go to the website directly, or they can email me if they want. Both ways, someone will get in touch. Probably me, but maybe someone else could happen. Both.
And no need to go into too much detail on that first contact.
No, oh yeah, sorry. I do appreciate if it's nice and sweet and short, so I can just ask you to fill out the form, because if I have to read that, it's not very efficient, because I'm still gonna miss the relevant information, and it takes me quite some time to go through a whole email of someone's life story from the day they were born until now, and so we try to. Yeah, no, I'm on a personal note. I'm very interested in people's lives, and we can have a drink in a bar and go in depth. But when we try to answer people within the first 24, 48 hours when they fill out our form, and it would just not become a manageable job if we have to read the life story first, and then because that's something. Yeah, that's something we can also, then I have a first impression, and then we go on a call, and then we get more of these details too. So that's kind of the working method that we have. We can have a call first if people really, really want to, cover something. Of course, we're always available to that. But the most efficient route is please just drop me a short note. I was in the show. I'll send you the application form, and I'll try to get back to you within a couple of hours or in 2 days.
That's brilliant to know that people are going to get a response. I'm sure is very reassuring within a couple of days. I think the other thing people would like to know is amount of deposit, multiples, and age limits. I guess those are our holy trinity of the most asked questions, aren't they?
Yeah.
So let's deal with those now when it comes to a Portuguese mortgage.
Okay, so age limit tends to be 75. There's some left and right where we can do there, but basically it's 75 for most banks. There's one bank that goes to 80, but that's the exception, and it's rare. Sometimes we can do it on the younger person, but again, that's a per case basis. It's not something we can guarantee, depending on also where you pay your taxes, because it's kind of what we do, and it's something answer first your question. So 75 or 80. Second one is you need at least 30% of your own funds, plus you need the money for fees and taxes. So rule of thumb, 40% of own funds, and you would be there at the equation. The other part you can get from the bank. Yes. And what was your third question? I think it was 2 questions.
The multiples, what your borrowing potential.
Okay. Yeah, so you can spend around 35% of your income on the new mortgage and the mortgages you already have. So that's kind of the equation that you have to fit into. But that's kind of the puzzle that we do. So that's why I always ask people, please fill out our form. So when they do the form, I can really quickly scan through it. And if there's anything that's, where there's questions, and I can go back to the clients and then ask about the life story. That's going to fill in the blanks for me there. But that's the job that we do, that I can't per definition say that each client will fit each bank's metrics or profile. They have some similarities, of course, but some clients' profile would fit better with that bank and the other one with that bank. And so that's where I think we make the difference, that we do try to get back to you as soon as possible, which is a bit of a challenge in the summer months, and which is a bit because we have less bank people working. We're still, full on, but we have less people in the bank, so there's more people shouting and knocking on the same doors and less people to open them.
Yes.
So that's a challenge, but we can still get it quicker. And then the other part, we do see some reaction from the interest rate around the world increasing, so that's creating more anxiety with people, and then you get delays kind of everywhere in the process because everyone is trying to fix the rate as soon as possible to avoid any further increases, which makes sense. And then, but we do that is one of the services I think where we can make a difference for clients, that we really look at your profile and then figure out which client fits with which bank, and then make sure that there's options for you. And if we couldn't fit you with one bank, we would also try to let you know as soon as possible.
Very good. Now let's go back to this summer holiday thing. Just how much of a problem is this at the moment, and what can people expect? When will it return to normal? I mean, pretty much
August.
August. So July and August, things slow down. People are quite traditional, aren't they, when taking their holidays here in Portugal, and the financial industry grinds to a halt. I mean, where I walk my dogs in the morning, there is a holiday camp that was supposed to open on the 16th of July, and I'm guessing quite a few people had holidays booked, and there's this great big water slide. That's my sort of barometer for development. They're building this massive water slide at the end of my street, and
you're going down it too.
I will do, Jacqueline. I'm going to get myself a GoPro, and I'm going to go down that bad boy when it opens. But that's the problem. It's not open. They've stopped working. It's like the banks. I was thinking they're going to be really working away. They've been putting all these cabins on the hill with a lovely sea view where all the people paraglide and everything. And I'm thinking 16th of July, they're going to be working really hard in this last week. And I think it's quite the opposite. It's like, oh, it's July. Sorry, we're going on holiday now. You'll have to wait
next summer. And
it's a real thing, isn't it? And
it is.
And, we can't criticize it. The best thing to do is just to say, well, that's how it is, and be prepared for it, right?
I think this is one of the key messages I try to give clients too. If you're considering buying a holiday home in Portugal, many people buy because of the relaxed lifestyle and because of the way that that very joie de vivre and very relaxed and calm. And then the downside of it is that things slow down too. So if you can't lead with that at any point, then you should maybe also consider if it's a good idea to buy in Portugal, because it's part of why you're buying, because it's so it's not so rushed and like up north or in north of Americas. It's just more laissez-faire, and it's warm.
Absolutely.
People don't want to get upset too much in these heats.
You don't. Certainly not. Today is not a day to be getting upset about how long your mortgage application is taking. It's going to be in the 40s in some parts of the country for sure. Yeah. Okay, so that's an interesting cultural side note there. A question has come in, and it's more of an observation. Actually, it's a joke. Negative rate, so you get paid to take out a loan. That's not happening yet, is it, Jacqueline?
It was, but they weren't. So the most, like, the negative rate was like -1.5, and the bank would quote you 1.5. So effectively you would be paying 1. And the bottom, like the threshold for the banks, would say, if we get to 0, that's it. They wouldn't actually be paying you to have a loan. That would be a very non-sustainable but interesting reality.
Wouldn't it? Maybe one day, Jess, when you're the president of the United States, you can make that happen. Nice try, is all we can say to that. And this, of course, is the other question that comes up. Is there an equity release in Portuguese law and the mortgage system here? There isn't, is there?
No.
Okay.
They want to give you the money before you buy the property. Please, anyone who's thinking, I'm going to buy in cash and then get the money out later, no. The only excuse would be, or the only valid reason would be for the bank to grant it, would be if you're going to do remodeling on the property, but it's not an easy route either. So my advice is always, please come to us in an early stage where you are not locked into kind of a purchase contract, or you're locked in but the purchase hasn't been finalized yet, and then we can help you with the mortgage. But please don't expect to have a mortgage in place after you bought it in cash.
Okay, that's really great for you, Maxine. There, and yeah, Antonio is putting Jess right as well. You'd have to pay the loan every month, but not the part related to the interest rate. So yes, it's not going to be happening anytime soon, Jess. I don't suppose that. Is it true? Justin Irwin is here. Hello, Justin. Good to see you here. Is it true that debts are attached to properties from the previous owners? Do you know about this, Jacqueline?
It belongs, of course, a little bit more with the lawyer's part than with my part of the equation, because this is when you go to notary and they establish. So before going to the notary, it's always going to be established if there's any debts still linked to the property, and then the first people to be paid off are the debtors. So they are going to be redeemed for the money owned to them, whether that's the state, whether that's electric companies, I think. But it can happen that previous owners left or left debts to the property, yes. But it will not be paid by the buyer, of course.
No. Okay. Well, Jess is not happy about that situation. Well, you did ask, Jess, and we've put that straight for you now. But yes, as I say, maybe put it in your manifesto for your presidential campaign 2024. I think a lot of people would vote for that. I don't think you'll get much support from the financial services industry, however, with that. Jacqueline, always excellent to talk to you. Is there anything else we should be telling people about this scene, the financial ecosystem and financing your property purchase over here in wonderful Portugal?
I think, well, I think the main things we covered. Interest rates still attractive. They're not negative, and the bank is not paying you to have the loan. I'm sorry. But yeah, loan to value, it's an important one. Like, always keep in mind, you need to bring 40% of your own funds.
Yes.
And 75 is when the bank would like to see you, the mortgage is paid off. But there's a bit of leeway left or right, but it's not applicable for everyone, and it's not something we can guarantee. So that's where, going back to the other part, drop me a note. I'll send you the link to the form. I'll go through the form and then see where we can fit you if there be more of a complicated situation. But
okay,
they're still willing to lend, so it's nice. It's with combining that with the fact that people want to buy, they don't want to put all their funds into that property, then you can get some money from the bank at not a very expensive rate compared to what you might be getting somewhere else in the world.
Indeed. Portugal's still looking very good in this regard. Now, Justin Irwin, from forms, you were talking about forms to forums, and expatsportugal.com. I've just had a message from the DG, from Dear Jerry, saying that we've just ticked over 11,004 members as of this morning. Justin Irwin, maybe those few people that took us over 11K. Well done, everybody. Thank you very much.
Congratulations. Champagne for you, Carl.
Yes. Did you just hear what Jacqueline said there? Champagne for us. Yeah, actually, that's a good point, Jacqueline. So next time for 12, yes, Jerry, 12,000. And we should have that ready to pop the cork with whoever's on the screen with me, and we should celebrate in style. So thank you for being here to celebrate that milestone. Similar numbers on the YouTube channel as well. Thank you to each and every one of you who's part of our community. And of course, yes, if you've got more questions, if you want to talk to other people in the community who've worked with Jacqueline, you can do that over on expatsportugal.com/community, where there are satisfied customers of Mortgage Direct. So Jacqueline, thank you very much. You're in the Netherlands at the moment. A couple of times ago, you were in Brazil. Have you got any nice travel plans lined up or dancing plans? Because we know you're a keen dancer as well.
Dancing on the beach of Rio. Is that good enough?
Are you going again?
Yes, and Portugal. And sorry.
Wow. Okay. Send pictures if you will. Have a lovely holiday this year. So great to speak to you again. And lots of love to everybody at the office.
Okay, thank you very much. Right. It was good to be here again. Bye.
There she goes, Jacqueline Moulen, and the link. I'll leave the link on the screen for a little while there in our business directory, Mortgage Direct -SL. Don't forget that bit, and so you can get in touch, and they will get back to you within a couple of days and let you know how you can get on with financing your property here in Portugal. Lots of lovely comments. And lots in the chat to come back to. And the Portugal news, the Portugal resident, we might have a look at the papers, and we'll stay on the lighter side of life because of some of the comments that I made earlier on, or relating to some of the comments I made earlier on. Oh, it is Sarah. Fantastic. Stick with the way you've been saying it. It's what I'm used to. I have Russian friends, and Probably others, though, who say it the other way, and it still works. Okay, so you're one of those people. You're not too fast. You're not going to get offended, which is excellent. So, Sarah, it will be from here on in. Grandparents' Day. Thank you very much for this, Pam. Grandparents' Day, Dia dos Avós, is the day to celebrate the relationship. Some say it started in Portugal, and it is the topic of tonight's chat club. The link to the chat club, that'll be brilliant if you want to put that in so people can polish up their Portuguese as well, Pam. If you want to stick that in the chat, the link to the chat club. And this was so Elaine. Yes, Googling yourself. We're continuing that conversational theme this morning. Has anyone? Yes, I would like a picture. If anyone's been to the Óbidos Festival, has anyone been to it? Ask Pam. I think there's one in progress at the moment. It certainly was over the weekend, wasn't there? Leria has finished at the weekend. Óbidos just started. Algarve coming up in a couple of weeks. So pictures from any of those would be gratefully received. Breathe, says a banana slug. Breath and gratitude. So yeah, I guess he is saying breathe, but actually what he put there was breath and gratitude will always recenter you and overcome the snarkies. If you get an attack of the snarkies, breathe. And Elaine, I think happy to see the pictures there of the Barajani. It is a reservoir, not a river. That's where she lives. The pictures, if you weren't here earlier this morning, let me just show you the wonderful pickies that Victoria sent in. That is near to where Elaine lives, and there's that lovely picture with the foliage and the flowers there hanging from the tree. Quite incredible. And we did have pictures of the ruins there as well. Yeah, there you go. The Barajani at Messinish there. Superb. Thank you very much, Elaine and Victoria, for being here. A gorgeous Albufeira photo, slightly moody one, of course, but Victoria appreciating Laura's Albufeira picture that I showed earlier on. And news just in then, Pamela. This is the sort of news I like. We will have a look at the Portugal news in the Portugal Resident. And it's lovely as well, better, I think, when news comes in from people who are giving their own opinion or something from their own community here, as Pam is doing. It was good to see on the news last night that affordable apartments are being built in Lisbon. Yay! The first 128 of 2,000 were handed over to residents. Good work, government. It has been mid to high 20s here. So not just news, weather as well from Pam. Mid to high 20s in Alcobaça, lots of sunshine, but not too hot. Perfect. And there's some dad joke discussion as well. What is it about all these dad jokes that we'll find out this morning? Bom dia todos from Antonio F. Antonio, bom dia, tudo bem? And Jeff Hill with a bon dia as well. Jeff, good morning to you in Porto this morning. Johnny is in. Bon dia, alegria. And here's something you can do as a couple. A tandem bicycle. Try a tandem to exercise with your significant other. If I remember rightly, Sarah does have, the Yermans do have a tandem, do they not? We used to own 3, trying to scale down to 1. What's that like? Do dogs really run up to you and throw a bucket of water over you as you go past? Bart has just come in with Pashdesh at Donata while I'm watching the show, sent a picture. Oh, nice one. We'll make sure. Thanks, Bart. Where's ours, though? Having said that, Bart. So, fresh pictures in with fresh pastries, Portuguese pastries in Belfast. Isn't that amazing? I will share that with you in due course. I got to see the inside of the new hotel in the monastery. Oh, my word. That's beautiful as well. So a new hotel in Alcobaça. Pam has sent a picture of that. So I'll bring you that this morning. It's all part of Consumer Tuesday, the consumption of pastel de natas and the consumption, the culture consumption in Alcobaça. You must go to Alcobaça. It was one of the first places that was ever mentioned to me that I should visit, and I'll be ever grateful to Laurie, who I used to work with back in the day when I was in the UK. He said, go to Alcobaça, it's amazing. And it turns out he was right. So I'll bring your pastry picture up in just a moment, and we'll go through the wonderful comments that you're sending in this morning. Hanging out here on the Good Morning Portugal show, the Gumper Gang are here, the riot of Gumpers. Love that picture, Pam. That's going in now. But actually, by the way, what I didn't show you earlier on was I did mention the picnic that I'd taken the Arvos on yesterday. Yesterday, Arvo, with the Arvos, no, that's Miss Sparkling Fizz that I really liked last night. No, look, the Parque Merendas Aval do Paraíso, Paradise Valley there. The sign may have seen better days, but I should commend this to you. If you want to come to San Martinho de Porto and you're looking for things to do that aren't aren't sort of bay buzz maximum, if you see what I mean. The bay is crazy at the moment, and so it should be. You know, it's a seaside resort, and people are having great fun there. As you can see on the bottom of that sign, that's with all the beach tents are up. People are having a fantastic time down on the beach. It's going to be amazing down there today. But if you want it a little bit more peaceful, if you're staying on the Silver Coast and you want to get away from the crowds for a little while, you can come to a picnic area such as this. I do recommend this one. Very, very small and intimate. You can't barbecue at the moment, obviously, but you can have a lovely picnic like we did yesterday. Parc de Merendas, Val do Paraíso, de San Martino de Porto there. And as you see, on every picnic area, there is a phone number for the local bomberos should there be an emergency, as well as the local GNR. And often the contact details or the nearest hospital is there as well, because I think maybe that's when they have a playground. But that's a lovely picnic area. And I might do a little bit of a blog piece on quiet things to do in San Martino de Porto if you want to avoid the crowds. We have another picky from that afternoon yesterday. Where is it though? Oh, this one. Look, a snake head that I found. Am I going to put a lot of people off going to that picnic area if I say now that I found, or Mrs. M spotted a snake skeleton in the ground, and well, I thought I'd photograph it. That's on top of my hat there. It's long gone, Jerry. Don't worry. I know Jerry and others that do not like the snakes here. You're unlikely to see them slithering around in a picnic area. I think it just curled up and died literally in a little creek that we walked through nearby to the area. But isn't that amazing? Look at those little fangs. Apparently not dangerous, but kind of looks dangerous, doesn't it? And here we are having a nice picnic yesterday, Portuguese style, with a tablecloth, with our cool bags. It was lovely in under the trees in the shade there, and we played boules. We had a lovely time. Also, a French cricket, truly European, with the French games in the Portuguese picnic area. Right, if you didn't see it, is a tall ship where our mate is leaving the Azores. I think yesterday or this morning. There's something to add to your list, right? Where you been? If you didn't see that, where you been? But look at that, a lovely tall ship that you can sail out of the Azores on there. Mixing up my prepositions, sorry, but you get the gist. Okay, why is it called a dad joke? Oh, I think others have come to my aid here in describing what a dad joke might be. I've not found another me on Google. Well, not yet anyway. Keep Googling. And as I said, I'll be very happy to facilitate an interview between two namesakes anytime. It was very interesting talking to another Carl Munson last night. You got it right, Antonio F. He's still processing. Lol. What's this? That's a no. Oh, it's not me that's had a. I didn't drop off, did I? In a Joe Biden kind of way earlier on. No, I think we're talking about Hank. Hank doesn't join us. I think he might watch the replay later. He's still processing data. That's what we call it. He's not asleep. He's processing data there in Porto. Is there any? Oh, we did that. Maxine, sorry, that wasn't better news on the mortgage business there here in Portugal. Why is it called a dad joke? Because Beverly Maidment says, because dads have tended to tell silly, daft jokes. What? Nothing silly or daft about my humor to their children to make them laugh and to be playful. Okay. And that was a good joke as well. Negative rates. So you get paid to take out a loan. As it turns out, not a dad joke, a kind of a finance joke there. So these sorts of daft jokes have now been given a title, dad jokes, and that's what we do. We love to share them here on the Good Morning Portugal show. All right, this is really great, isn't it? A sort of anthropological study. So this is typical in the UK. Seriously, Belgians, you don't have dad jokes? I feel sorry for the children of Belgium. Although you do have chips with mayonnaise, so that kind of makes up for it, doesn't it? Thank you, Jacqueline, from Jim as well. And off with Stefan to explore another new place for me, Tapada de Mafra Wilderness Park. Ooh, hopefully I will find new birds, not British birds. Ate Amanya. Nice one. Have a great trip out. Be careful out there. I think some of the big parks are closed as well, aren't they, because of the fire risk. So go steady out there, James. Matty's in. Look, Matty's here, everybody. Bon dia, Algria, a todos de Pombal this morning. And bye, James. Have a blast from Connie. He may be long gone by now. That comment was in there a little while ago. What else is going on before we go to the newspapers? There seems to be a bigger festival in Pombal starting Thursday, I think, with food and music and stuff. There you go. Portuguese festivals, food and music and stuff. merriment, I think is what you mean by stuff there. Nice day in Cape Town, cool morning, but sunny and warming up now. What sort of high are you expecting there, Francis? Antonio F., I was there in 2019. It's a great atmosphere. The Obidos Festival 3 or 4 years ago. It was great. Yeah, real medieval vibe on that. And you obviously get to go into the historic, what's it called? Not a castellated town. I suppose that is a description of Obidos. Yeah, medieval. The whole settlement there built around the castle. Great fun, great place. And festa time at the moment. So I'm sure you'll have a fine time if you head that way. I might join them as a volunteer specialist once my Portuguese is better, or should I say even existing. I don't think that should stop you now, Matty. Get in there, my friend. Go see them. Oh, you're not talking about the local festa. You're talking about something else. Oh, the Bombeiros. Yeah, maybe your level of Portuguese does, no offense, but maybe does need to be a little bit better than it might be at the moment. I was at the Bombeiros station on Saturday when I dropped off a crate of Red Bull and Monster energy drinks, as well as some grain bars. They even gave me a tour of the station. How lovely. Good job. Nicely done, as Connie is saying to you there, Matty. And a tour. What fun. Did you get a go on the fireman's pole, so to speak? I wonder, do they have those even here? Do the Bombeiros use those in Portugal? Let's take a look at the papers. But before we do, Matty, as well as dishing out energy drinks and energy bars to firemen, you were also at Owen's, were you not? And we will have a food special with Owen tomorrow. Owen is in tomorrow. You know, the Doc and Owen swap their Wednesdays. So Owen will be with us tomorrow. He has cooked pica-pau and, I can't remember what it is in Portuguese, so I'm going to have to say it's the English name, which is camel drool, which doesn't make it sound like the most appetizing Portuguese dessert, does it? Baba de Camelo, possibly. Do help me out with that. But pica-pau as cooked by, we've got the videos, and we'll talk through them and the pictures with Owen tomorrow. No, I was led around by a female. Stop it. The festival in Pombal is called Festa de Bordeaux, and it is on the Expats events calendar. Did you put it up? Top man yourself there. Thank you, Matty, for adding that. Please do that, everybody. If you've got local events, and if you've ever thought to yourself, why was it such a struggle for me to find this event? Why not help everybody out? Help the brothers and sisters out, the others coming and who are beginning their lives here in Portugal to discover these amazing events, which Portuguese people don't tend to advertise. Please stick them up on the expatsportugal.com events page. What's on page 19 degrees then is what France is looking forward to in Cape Town this morning. Let's go look at the newspapers and see what's what. We did the weather earlier on. Normally, yes, the custom is to do news and then weather. Not unusually for us, we do things the other way around. Let's take a look at the front page then of the Portugal news. And I'm asking the questions you can see on the screen there. How's it going in the shops, in the banks, in the government offices? Have you had any interesting experiences recently that you'd like to share? You can even come on the screen and do that yourself if you wish. I'm opening up the Portugal news front page now. And talking of polar politics, there he is, Andre Ventura of the Chega Party to propose new immigration laws. Maybe, I don't know, maybe, should we not go there right now? But you know, you can read about that if you want to at the Portugal news. Oh, which products have gone up in price most in Portugal? I think we're going to go there on this Consumer Tuesday. Social Security denying benefits to foreigners. Apparently, crime down in Portugal compared to 2019. Well, if that's what the cops look like when you're wandering about, no wonder crime has gone down. Which are the most searched for beaches in Portugal? That might be nice to have a look at as well. Lisbon mayor calls for more police, even though crime has gone down. And prevention is key to stopping pet abandonment. I think we're going to look at beaches, aren't we? And see what prices have gone up the most. And also, not just the bad news, but what might the fixes be for that? Buying local, I suspect, will be one of them. And is bottled water the biggest scam of the century? We must take a look at that. We'll come back to those because I want to take a look at the Portugal resident as well. Let's see if there's anything in the last 20 minutes or so of the show this morning that we might like to look at in the Portugal resident as well. Anybody got a view on this? Portugal resident then, Silvish fire. That's the, I think, the smoke that Laura could see in Albufeira. Let's bring that onto the screen for you now and risk the pop-up advertising Stay tuned, folks, to see what pop-up ads. Let's see what Carl's been searching recently, judging by his advertising on Google Ads. No, I don't want notifications. Thank you very much. Look, the Silvish fire being tackled by almost 600 firefighters. Quite extraordinary. And I know that there were aircraft involved in that. So good luck to everybody involved in that. I hope that comes to a quick resolution. Minister promises 600 million upgrade for Portugal's police stations and new recruits. Brussels save gas. Is that a Brussels sprout story, or is it Brussels? The other Brussels. A Brussels save gas emergency plan shows signs of softening. I was thinking, how do you make a news story exciting? Probably not like that. So over 200 firefighters, that escalated then, didn't it? That went from 200 to 600 yesterday. And Coimbra scientists developed an intelligent charging model for electric buses. Look at that dinky electric bus there. That might be a little bit too specialist for us as well, but those are the headlines over there on the Portugal Resident. What else have they got? EU funding bazooka, cold shoulders private enterprise, and lithium wars. Lawsuit filed against British company for illegal seizure of common land. That's probably here in Portugal. And pioneer study confirms COVID vaccines alter women's periods. There, a news item on the Portugal Resident. Motorway tolls face significant increase. That's a Consumer Tuesday story. Really? I thought many were hoping that they'd come down, not go up. What do you think about that? The tolls going up again on the motorways. And government announces reduction in water consumption at Algarve tourist complexes. Wonder how they're doing that. Okay, that's your Portugal Resident. I want to go back to the Portugal news then and share with you a couple. The most searched beaches. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button there, which has put me in a bit of a spin. Okay, back to the Portugal news then, and bring the beaches. Where should we start? Should we go with the beaches first? Or what was that other one that looked interesting over there? Oh, yeah, which products have gone up in price most in Portugal, and is bottled water the biggest scam of the century? I think we'll do them in, let's go look at the price index first. Deco, I don't know who they are, but this is in the Portugal news, and they must have something to say about this. Deco reveals that the price of a basket of essential products has increased to €205.54. Cereals, rice, tuna, pasta, turkey leg, and apples were some of the products that increased in price in the last week. The price of a basket of essential products was 75 cents more expensive. Well, that's not too bad, is it? Which represents an increase of 0.37% compared to the previous week, reaching that number of €205.50, according to accounts made by the Portuguese Association for Consumer Protection. That's Deco. Whole grains, rice, tuna, tomatoes, spiral pasta is the one they choose. Turkey leg. Strange, but true. And apples were some of the products that increased in price in the last week. The Russian invasion of Ukraine has further accelerated the rise in energy prices and the drought, aggravating the escalation of raw material prices. Now, talking of the drought in Portugal here and the effect it might have on winemakers, I'm just doing a little bit of not exactly a fact check, but more of a sort of context check. Can the Portuguese here and the people who've been in Portugal let me know if the association between the drought and the fears for the Portuguese wine production do they have a rhythm to them? Do they come up every now and then? Or is it a bit of sensationalism going on? Because you've noticed what's been happening recently. Some natural patterns, and I'm not saying they're good patterns, but some natural patterns have been sensationalized and scandalized into something they might not be. So I suspect that we have had droughts, or they have had droughts here in Portugal for many decades now. And then the news story follows that wine production may be affected. Is that unusual or not? Antonio F might be able to help with that. So yes, the Russian invasion, the drought being blamed for the price increase, and Deco have 63 essential food products. Are these essential food products? Not for the vegetarians here. Turkey, chicken, hake. I thought it was going to say horse there. Horse mackerel, don't worry. Or onions, potatoes, carrots, bananas, apples, oranges, rice, spaghetti, esparguete, azúcar, fiambre, light, queijo y manteiga, after having recorded a decline in the week of July the 6th to the 30th. It's a bit like the mortgage news, isn't it? And the news of real estate and in wealth management. It's all changing, but it's not changing as badly as it might here in Portugal. Good to know. So there was a decline even week July 6th to the 13th, and the cost of the basket monitored by Deco increased slightly in the last week of that 75 cents there. I don't think we need to go into any further granular detail on each percentage move on each of those things like tuna in olive oil. That's enough of that for now. Sorry to see here as well, the oldest woman in Portugal dies. And 2 bottles of Matias Rosé sold every 3 seconds. Wow, you could have said there's a bottle of Matias Rosé sold every 1.5 seconds there, I think, Portugal news. Let's very quickly have a look then at this dear lady then. The Portugal's oldest woman has died, and she would have been Encarnação Souza. Encarnação. She died in the early hours of Thursday morning, God rest her soul, at the age of 113. Wow, she was the oldest woman in the country and one of the oldest in Europe, and she survived pandemics and 2 world wars. Well, of course she did, at 113. She was born in Torres, a small village in the municipality of Ceia, famous for its cheese, of course, on March the 20th, 1909. And what I do like to see when you hear of a story of old age, of great age like that, is what people's secrets were. And that was presumably, she would have been reported on when she turned 100 and then 110, what her secret was, whether it was to avoid men and to smoke a cigarette every day or that sort of thing. But R.I.P. Encarnação Souza, that I wasn't expecting to read about today, but sorry to hear of her passing. 113, my goodness. Okay, back to the Portugal news then. And is bottled water the greatest scam? Was that the story there of the century? Paul Luckman, I believe the owner, proprietor of the paper there, and writes an opinion piece every now and then, this being one of them. Is bottled water the biggest scam of the century? Water is a very interesting subject in Portugal, isn't it? I mean, I've seen that hilarious not a meme exactly, but a kind of quote is, do people have running water in Portugal? Didn't somebody ask that about Portugal? Do you have running water over there? Some of the finest running water in the world, will have from fonts in villages and towns and along the roadside. And that's a really interesting and wonderful part of Portuguese culture. I think people rocking up with their empty 5-litre bottles and filling them up from the local font. This, however, it's true. A lot of bottled water is sold. Should tap water be drunk instead, though? I think that's what Paul is looking at here in the opinion section of the Portugal news. Tap water in Portugal is safe, highly tested, environmentally safe, and a fraction of the cost of bottled water. No wonder leading scientific studies and respected media come up with the same opinion: bottled water is a scam. To quote the respected Science Alert, for the vast majority of people, a glass from the tap and a glass from the bottle are virtually identical as far as their health and nutritional quality are concerned. Now, I'll go along with that, but the taste is not the same. In some cases, publicly sourced tap water may actually be safer, since it is usually tested more frequently. Yes, of course. In fact, a recent report found that almost half of all bottled water is actually derived from the tap. Well, that is a scam. Pepsi, Nestle, what are you like? Well, we know what you're like, Pepsi and Nestle, the race to the bottom. In 2007, Pepsi, they market Aquafina, don't they? And Nestle market Pure Life, among others, had to change their labels to more accurately reflect this. And I'm sure there's no law, is there, against bottling tap water and selling it, just as they were doing there. 300 times more expensive than tap water, says the subheading. It's not a new idea. The first documented case of bottled water being sold was in Boston, USA in the 1760s. Now, why am I not surprised that the great American entrepreneurs started this? When a company called Jackson Spa bottled and sold mineral water for therapeutic uses. I was born in the wagon of a traveling show. Companies in Saratoga Springs and Albany also appear to have packaged and sold water. At the time, public water was not safe to drink. Yes, and hence a good case for bottling it up safely, and so people could drink in confidence and safety. But these days, it's as every bit as safe as the bottled water you're paying for. The bottled water industry is driven by health concerns regarding drinking water. You see, I would disagree there with Paul. I'm loving the article, Paul, by the way, if you tuned in. I think it's about convenience, isn't it? And carrying a bottle with you, possibly. And I would say the tap water taste of chlorine, doesn't it? It does have a different taste. We have a water filter here. We use tap water, but we filter it. Making bottled water is also an extensive, resource-heavy process like other sources of plastic. The material in bottled water is produced from the byproducts of crude oil, getting cruder by the day, isn't it? Unlike other plastic materials that get reused over their lifetimes, plastic bottles are typically used once and then disposed of. Now, that is the problem, isn't it? That's terrible. And there's no need for it. We could all carry a flask, could we not? And have it topped up. And who wouldn't mind paying a few cents to have? In fact, I was pioneering that idea. I've worked in the water industry, and I thought having a water, some sort of urn, and you fill it up and you pay for the water, and I mean, everyone's got a reusable water bottle flask, haven't they? A study in the journal Environmental Research Letters revealed that the plastic that went into the bottled water Americans consumed in 2007 came from the byproducts of roughly 32 to 54 million barrels of oil, and that's just America. And it is a disgrace, isn't it? What are we like, us human beings? Add this to this, the cost of transporting vast quantities of bottled water around the country, if not across Europe, and you can see we're not just contributing to global warming, we are being deliberately wasteful. It's going to change, isn't it, folks? You can fill your own bottles from the tap at home. You may raise the objection to this opinion if you like natural carbonated water drawn from a highly regulated local spring. I personally like Pedrash, Salgares, says Paul. I try and justify my environmentally unfriendly choice. I looked on their website and I quote, "This water is rare. Very few sparkling waters anywhere in the world are 100% pure. Natural, like Pedrash, and natural sparkling mineral water, which is what makes it so special and complete." This made me feel a bit better, says Paul, but it's just still water, or it's still just water. Both work. The same stuff that comes out of the tap, but the fact that it is a natural spring water sounds so much better. Before you go down that train of thought, bear in mind that approximately 80% of our tap water in the Algarve comes from natural underground deposits. Okay, I don't know what his sign-off paragraph is here, and it's a debate that will run and run. And certainly there is something we could do. I do favor prizing water. Prizing, making it special, making it sacred, like so many other things in our lives. You know, the gratitude, the sacredness of things we have seemed to have forgotten when we commoditize them. I think water sources, carrying a flask is the way forward. Do yourself a favor. He says, just fill in an environmentally friendly container at home, at a restaurant, you are perfectly free to ask for a glass of water. That's a time-old on a debate as well, isn't it? It's worth remembering water comes from rain, he says. It drains through the earth or rocks. Then it's either sold to you at vast profit in a bottle, or you can turn on your tap. It's the same water either way. I think it's a bit more nuanced and complex than that, but a great conversation starter there. Thank you very much, Paul. What's everyone saying here? Beverly, the water we collect in the 5-litre bottles every day from our font near the village of Aguas. Of course it would be. Is delicious. Thank you. I did buy a stack of 5-litre Mon Chic bottles in Lidl, and on Sunday I refilled them in a public spring. Yes, this is the Portuguese way. Later I will use them as mini greenhouses. Nice one, Matty. Use the fonts in villages. We also always do, says Beverly. Yes, good shout. They have a comparison tool using the test they do regularly to plenty of products and price checks. What did I miss there? Let me go back a little way and see what's being said about this. Catch up with you all. Actually, you've been chatting away here. Sarah's in. As is that Sarah or Sarah? Nom de plume, I'll go with. Bon dia todos, 345 over there. And Deco is, yes, the Consumers Association. Thanks, Antonio, for that. It is a sort of Portuguese consumer report, incredibly helpful. They have a health insurance search engine to show all your options. How about that? Product reports and more. Marvelous. Deco, check it out, folks. Bon dia. Maybe we can get someone from Deco to talk to us on Consumer Tuesday. Who's angry? Sarah Smith is. Bon dia, I made it back before the end of the show. Nice one, T-Duck. We held the door open for you. Droughts are a regular thing in Portugal. The problem is that it's becoming more regular. Yeah, nothing new there then. But just a new angle on the story, I guess, in recent times. On last night's news, they said it is possible to cross the River Tejo on foot in Santarém. Yikes. That is quite the marker, isn't it? Yes, they have a comparison tool. That's Deco. And thank you for your continued comments then on water. Matty, my mother-in-law uses those empty garrafões 5-litre bottles to protect the tomatoes during winter. It's a kind of cheap greenhouse. Nicely done, everybody. Thank you for those tips. And we will look at that last and upbeat story in traditional media style. And finally, not a cat, a little kitten rescued from a tree, but the most searched beaches. How many of these have you been to in Portugal as we hang out in the last few minutes of Consumer Tuesday here on the Good Morning Portugal show from expatsportugal.com. Owen tomorrow. With some cookery, the old camel drool and pick-a-pow. And on Thursday, we are talking to Vitor, our man in the north. And on Friday, Frank's going to be here, as is Mia. Going to be great fun on Friday. I can't find the beaches. The most searched beaches have now gone missing, everybody. They were here, were they not? Oh, no, here they are. They are here. Sorry, my user error. As usual, and let's have a look at these most searched beaches, shall we? Courtesy of the Portugal News. Hold on, share. No, I don't want to share. I want to actually just read the story, if you don't mind, for a moment. It's not coming up for me. They may well be the most searched, but they're not. Open image. I want to open the link in a new tab. Please let me do that. Here we go. Most searched beaches in Portugal. Summaries here. I'm going to have to just change which screen I'm sharing as well now. Bear with. And we'll bring this to you. And let's do a little bit of bingo. Shout out at home if you've been to any of the beaches that I'm mentioning here that are the most searched according to the Portugal News. And I'll bring it onto the screen so you can have a look at it. And you'll be able to look at Deagle's Pastel de Nata before the end of the show in that lovely hotel room that Pam sent a picture of as well. So here are the most searched Portuguese beaches. Summaries here, they say, and everyone is heading to the beach. But which are the most searched for in Portugal? Have I got a nice little jingle for this? I wonder. Oh, yeah, we got the Barcelo Award that we could use. I think that might be it. We got this as well. Don't see many ducks at the beach, do you? Or maybe you do in Portugal. Praia da Rocha, then. I think one or two of us have been to Praia da Rocha. 12,100 searches per month. Praia da Marinha, 12,000 searches on that. The second place position there, considered one of the most beautiful beaches in Portugal and Europe through the European Best Destinations. Eden, nice acronym. There, Praia da Marinha. It doesn't say where it is, though. Praia da Ursa, bare beach, right? Does that mean you're naked there? Despite the very high numbers of searches, it remains an unexplored and wild beach, often cited as one of the most beautiful in the region. Are these all... No, they're not all Algarvian, are they? Comporta isn't. To get there, we advise you bring a pair of trainers and don't be alarmed by the long and treacherous descent. Wow! That sounds like the world of politics at the moment. We guarantee that it will be worth it. So there you go, Praia da Ursa. Praia da I better put this in the... I'll put the link to this in the chat so that you can do your further research. And I'll make sure it's in the show blog as well. You can find that at goodmorningportugal.com. A little bit after the show, we'll have me coffee and post up the pictures. Comporta. George Clooney bought near there, did he not? Fourth position in the ranking. Comporta is known for its wild and unspoiled natural landscape, peaceful atmosphere, and charming traditional villages. If you're fond of sand dunes and salty air, go to Comporta. The magnificent beach stretches along more than 60 kilometers of coastline. Praia da Faleja. Praia da Faleja is one of the best beaches in the Algarve. And even if you're not a beach lover, this one is definitely worth a visit. Yes, interesting. There are different ways to enjoy beaches, aren't there? You know, lying there near naked all day with bronzing oil on, or having a wander about in the dunes and on the cliffs. I'm in the latter category. Yes, my skin isn't up to... My British skin is not up to the pounding it would get from the Portuguese sunshine. I have to be careful with that. But Faleja, one of the best in the Algarve. Even if you're not a beach lover, you might love it. And concluding the rankings here, Praia de Galapinos, Praia de Luz, of course, ever popular, Praia de Samoqueira. I think these are mostly Algarvian, aren't they? Praia de Ribeira de Cavalo and Praia de Azibo there. Thank you very much for that. I'll make sure that goes in the chat now so that you can put that on your beach bingo list. Ubi has joined us, flushed out, lurking as ever, and then in with a pithy comment towards the end of the show. TH pithy. A beach is not a place, but a state of mind and spirit. And for that, you get one of these. Yes, not a place, but a state of mind and spirit. Thank you, Ubi, for that. And the last one, Praia de Azibo, is an inland beach in the north. Okay, so not all Algarvian. Northeast of Portugal, mostly used by locals and Portuguese immigrants during their August vacations in Portugal. So the homecoming to Praia Azibo. I've not heard of that. Love that. Thank you very much for that recommendation or commendation or a little bit of extra research on that one, Antonio. Great to have you here as ever. We mentioned, didn't we, over 11,000 now over in the community at expatsportugal.com on the website and in the forum. Antonio F, one of those rarities, actually. Antonio, thank you for everything you do. You're here, you're chipping in with wonderful information on the live stream, and we know you work hard in the forum, so I'd like to thank you for that as well over there on expatsportugal.com/community. In the UK, we have a filter. We filter the gunk that comes out of the tap. If you saw what's left in the filter, you would cry. What do you do with it? What do you do with that toxic waste? And Praia de Ursa is in Sintra's municipality. So my bad there, my mistake. They were beaches all over. But, I mean, I would have thought Fontatelia might be on there. San Martino de Porto might be on there. I'm a little hurt by that. Chided, is that the word? Yeah, so, come on. Oh, although they weren't saying the best beaches. They were saying the most searched for, weren't they? Okay, well, that brings us up to 10 o'clock. You know what's happening for the rest of the week. Vitor on Thursday. And on Friday, we'll have Mia and Frank. Frank back from some global travels. And tomorrow, talking about some proper Portuguese grub. I think it's Baba de Camelo, isn't it? The camel spit and pica-pau. Pica-pau. Thank you, Antonio F. telling us, of course, about the origins of pica-pau last week. It was the name I used for the show as a way of sort of describing smorgasbord potpourri of things I was attempting to bring together. We'll actually see it being cooked by Owen tomorrow on the show. So do join us for Ask Anything About Portugal Wednesday with Owen and with a culinary traditional Portuguese cuisine flavor tomorrow, literally. Do join us for that. Are you done editing yet for tomorrow? What does that mean? What am I supposed to be doing tomorrow? Oh, no, I haven't. But I will. It's a long time in show business between now and tomorrow morning, Matty. I'm not sure quite how we're going to present that, but rest assured, folks, there will be lovely footage of Owen cooking and talking through the recipes tomorrow and answering any of your questions about Portuguese cuisine and his experience here as an expat in Portugal. Let me make sure, folks, that I've shared with you each and every picture. Be careful. I've got to say, this is Central Portugal. This is sent in by somebody in the community. The sun blazing through the blaze, I guess there you could say. So do be careful. Oh, yes, the pastel, because this is what I wanted to show you. Pastel de nata, that's a loving son, isn't it? Who brings his father a pastel de nata while he's having a nice cup of tea and watching the weather on the show. Nicely done on the big screen there. My gosh. I'm going to have to put more foundation on, I think, if you're watching me in high res. And look at this. I'm guessing this is a restoration of the hotel in Alcobaça there that's going to be open for business soon by the look of it. Isn't that a fantastic room, a fantastic atmosphere, vibe? And Alcobaça, all over Alcobaça, go into the Opera Cafe, go to this new hotel, go into the monastery. You will soak up the ambiance, the incredible sense of history that Alcobaça has to offer. Well, all of Portugal has to offer it, but it's there in great volumes in Alcobaça. Thanks, Pam, for that. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Don't forget, you may have to disrobe today. It's going to be a hot one, and we will see you tomorrow morning. Thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. Have a great day, and ciao for now. Adios. Até próxima. Amanhã.